Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be drawing a rose, which you can use very soon. Coming up is Mother's Day, so you could use it on a card for your mom or for a friend who's a mom. Um, and today we're going to do this rose. There are lots of different kinds of roses you can draw, and this one looks a little complicated, but if you just follow me step by step, you'll see how really easy it is. Now, sometimes I talk about S curves in art, and an S being the letter S is just a curve that goes one way and then immediately goes another way. And so sometimes we draw them, long and skinny, like the steam coming out of a coffee cup, or, on its back, like a wave, that kind of thing. Today, for this rose, we're going to draw a nice rounded S. So almost a circle on top and bottom, but just with those openings here. So nice and round, then one way and then the other. Okay. Then I'm going to go kind of towards the top and start at the line and draw an arc down here to create a little crescent. Then I'm going to go the other side of the top of the S, and I'm going to finish that circle down here. And then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to do kind of another crescent. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the bottom circle here, and I'm going to pull it up towards the top, and I'm going to do a little curve in. This is another S curve. It curves this way and then that way. And on this side, about the same place that that one was on that side, I'm going to do a little curve going down and around. So there's another little S. So let's go over that just in case that was a little too fast. Do a nice round S. Do a crescent moon there on that side. Close this up and do another crescent on the outside. Then bring this in and back up so it curves in and out, and then curve in and back out here on this side. Okay, now we're going to do the middle here. I'm going to do an oval in the middle. Just a little circle, ellipsis, whatever. And then I'm going to start kind of close to the top, and I'm going to do another S curve. And it's going to go this way, so it's kind of an S laying on its back almost. A lazy S there. And then I'm going to do an arc above the oval from here to here. That was the oval and the S curve and then an arc. Now at the bottom of my rose, I'm going to have a little, I don't know what that's called, the little green stuff that sticks out at the bottom is just kind of an arc out and then a zigzag around. You can do 3 or 4 or 5 little points, however many you want there. Then I'm going to do a line going down, and beside that, another line. Now, at the top of a rose, at the top of the stem of the rose, there's a little bulb. It kind of is a little bigger there. So instead of starting it straight there, I'm going to just do an arc on each side and then kind of erase those middle lines so that the shape of my stem is two arcs that go into the line, the straight line down. Now we're going to draw some thorns. For that, I'm just going to do a little arc and draw a line down to the stem. So it kind of forms a little triangle there with a curved top. And I'm going to do that all the way down the stem. On the other side, do a little arc, then a line to the stem, then an arc, and a line to the stem. You can put on however many thorns you want your rose to have. Then for my leaf, I'm going to do an arc, however big you want your leaf to be, and then I'm going to do an arc on the bottom. Then I'm going to draw a line in the middle of it and some little ones here to indicate the veins of the leaf. Now roses have a zigzaggy edge to their leaves, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to do just little zigzags around the edges. On the other side too, if you're like me, it's easier to draw zigzags on one side than the other. It just takes a little practice. Now when we go back over it with our ink pen, we're not going to draw that solid arc that we drew. We're just going to draw over the zigzags. But that solid arc helps us get a baseline to start. So I'm going to do on the other side, I'm going to do another arc on top and an arc on bottom. Put my stem in it, a couple of little veins, and then do my zigzags along the edges. So then I'm going to go over what I've done with my ink pen. I'm going to go back. I'm going to kind of start with that S that we did first for the body of the rose, and then do my crescent and close this part of the circle and my crescent, and then just connect those lines with some curves, and then I'm going to do my oval for the center of the rose and my little S curve there and my arc there. Do my little whatever that's called, and then my stem. And don't worry if you're not tracing your lines exactly, the pencil's just there as a guide. And I go back and put in my little thorns, and then my leaves. Then I'm going to erase what I've done with my pencil remarks. And then I've got a rose. Now you could make your rose, depending on how you do that first S, if you did it shorter and wider, then your rose would end up being a slightly different shape, right? But it's the same process. All right, so you can make this one's long and tall and thin, and this one's a little shorter and fatter. Just depends on how you do that first S. So I'm going to get my paints and paint my rose. One of the things I love about watercolors is the ability to mix the paints on your paper there. So I'm going to start off with just a little bit of yellow on my rose. And then I'm going to pick up my red. I'm going to come in and paint my red rose. And as I go over that orange, the yellow that I painted, it kind of blends and turns into an orangish, and it just kind of adds some dimension to your rose, a little highlight if you get some colors going there. It's a little harder to do that with color pencils, but not impossible. I'm going to do the same thing with my green. I'm going to, with this thing around the rose and the stem and the leaves, it's going to get a little bit boring if I do it all one color green. So I'm going to put some yellow along the way. Maybe on my leaves, just do half of the leaf yellow, right? And then when I go over it with my green, then as I add the paint, it'll fill in where I was. And then some parts will be a little darker and some parts will be a little lighter. And you could do the, well, of course you can do anything, any color you want, but the thorns you could do green or brown. I don't really know on a rose what color they are, so maybe I have to touch those up a little bit brown. And if you don't like what you did, as long as it's wet, you can go back in and kind of dab it and take off some of that paint. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Please post your pictures, use the hashtag anyone can learn to draw, and so we can all see what everybody else is sketching. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.